Hey, pals. I haven't said that in so long. Welcome to Frame and Fiber. I am Paige Miller, your host, also known as Paige the Framer on Instagram. Some of you have noticed that there's now an account called Paige the Farmer on Instagram. That's me too. I don't know, one day I was like, I don't know what I was doing. And someone made a joke again, about me being the farmer, not the framer. And so I just looked to see if there was a Paige the Farmer on Instagram, and there wasn't. So I was like, I should snag that just in case. Maybe one day I will be a farmer. I do share lots of my garden and chicken stuff on that account. So if you're interested in that, you can follow there. Otherwise, you can follow me on Instagram. 3 accounts. Paige the Framer, Frame and Fiber, which frame and fiber, and now Paige the Farmer. So welcome, pals. I am coming to you from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. I am at Frame and Fiber. So it is the name of this YouTube channel, and it's also the name of my small business in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Usually I say, so if you find yourself in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, please pop in. I'd love to see you. But now I have to change that to, if you find yourself in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, please send me an email or give me a call or send me a DM on Instagram, because the business is now by appointment only. So I don't want you showing up and me not being here. Joyce from the 3Ply podcast, you guys say that 3 times fast. She popped in and she didn't know I was appointment only, but by chance I was here working on a Tuesday, and so I got to meet her and her husband Joe, and they were so great. Do you watch the 3Ply podcast? I hope you do, because those ladies are pretty funny. And now that I've met Joyce in person, she's a little part of this. So I need to get my butt to the Midwest because I need to meet some people. All right, back to business. Yeah, so my business is by appointment only. I haven't seen you guys in a very long time, so let me explain to you what's going on here. Yes, COVID is the reason why I started being appointment only, but COVID is not the reason why I'm continuing. I'm continuing appointment only because it has been so beneficial for my business and my life. So we're sticking with it. That can be inconvenient for some customers, and for that, I'm sorry that it's inconvenient, but I have to do what's best for all this. And the reason why that's best, so let me fill you in. I have owned this place for 21 years in October, and it has been a frame shop for 31 years in October. I started working here probably when this place was open for maybe 5 or 6 years. So I've been here for a really long time. Up until I added a yarn shop to my workspace, things worked fine. People could walk in, come and go, because really the only people walking in were people who had a specific thing to do. People didn't really browse in a frame shop. Very once in a while, I would get someone who wanted to just browse through some artwork. But generally speaking, people came in, they did their business, and they left. And so because that's the way it ran up front, in the back, I was able to get my work finished, which for every customer that comes in, I spend time with them, half hour, an hour, and then I spend hours making them something. So it's not just a, oh, come in and buy something and leave. It's not a retail model that way, even though people expect it to run that way. I expected it to run that way for years because that's all I've ever known. That's all picture frame shops have ever been. So in 2016, 2015, my mom died in 2014. A year or 2 after that is when I changed the name to Frame and Fiber. I'm going to say 2016 just because in my mind that's 5 years, right? Yeah, we're in 2021. Yeah. So let's do that so I can be 5 years. So 5 years ago, I changed the name, renovated this whole space because I had added yarn and I wanted my business name and branding to reflect the changes and to let people know what I did. So before it was Frame and Fiber, this was the Great Pacific Frame Shop. So didn't really tell you much. Frame and Fiber doesn't tell you much either unless you know what you're looking for, and then it tells you. So people who don't read my name, they're like, what is that all about? They just keep driving by. But people who need picture framing are like, oh, frame. Or people who knit, crochet, or whatever, they see fiber. So it works. I love my name. I love it. So, but with that change, the business changed a lot. And people came in all the time, which is lovely because, hello, I'm in business. But what started to happen was my days went from these organized, get my work done days to I felt like I was always putting out fires and I was always working way more than I should. As in, like, when I say as I should, my days were really long and they weren't, it just, how do I put it? I didn't feel like I was running my business. I felt like the business was running my life. And that had never been the prior 15 years. So because I'm not a full-time yarn shop, I'm a part-time yarn shop, I realized that something had to change, but I never knew what. So fast forward, or not fast forward, we're still in present, COVID hits and everything has to shut down because we all can't be in the same place. And so I closed down. However, I didn't really close down because I could still do my work here and get things done for people and they could pick it up and, you know, have a mask on, curbside pickup. I could do all of that. Or with so many of you out there who, oh my gosh, thank you. I know I said like, thank you. But the amount of out of New Jersey, not local to me, picture framing business that you guys brought to me was insane. Thank you. So much. Thank you. So virtually I did meetings. So my business just kept trucking along. The yarn shop wasn't, because that was like, well, people can't come in, you know, like that's totally different. So I then put everything I owned on Etsy and you guys started buying so much yarn from me. So many things worked out well. And then months into it, I'm not a year into it, but definitely months into it, I'm still appointment only and it's still going so wonderfully well. I have my days structured now. So the open hours, my business hours, are Wednesday through Saturday. 12 to 4 by appointment. So in those 4 hours for those 4 days, I squish in all of my customers, which means I know exactly what's happening and I can get my work done in the morning before I meet with customers. And 4 o'clock, when the last appointment's finished, I can close up the day, plan my next day, and then it's been absolutely life-changing. And I'm so thankful. The downside to it is the yarn shoppers have to plan ahead. That's not pleasing to everyone. I know that. But, well, I can't please everyone because I need to please myself and Paul Miller first. And it's been wonderful. So I am trying to figure out a way to communicate this to everyone in a way that makes sense, because all of us here in America, in New Jersey, all of us, we think of retail and there's a specific model that we follow. You have hours, you unlock your door, people walk in, they buy what they want, they leave, you're done, right? And so I'm not following that mold. And because I'm not following that mold, it can be very confusing. So that's the challenge I'm facing right now. It hasn't been a huge problem in that I am making a living, paying my bills, enjoying the business, but I don't want people to be confused. So if you feel confused by what I'm doing, reach out and ask me. That was a 10-minute spiel. I hope you're okay with all of that. All of that to say, that's why I'm changing the "if you find yourself in Point Pleasant" little tagline that I use. Just get in touch first so we can set up a time that works for you to come in and chat and see the beautiful yarn that I have. So speaking of beautiful yarn and chances to see it, the New Jersey Sheep and Wool Festival is happening soon. So that's September 11th and 12th. And if you are planning to attend, I will see you there because I'm vending. I'm vending and I'm pretty excited that my booth is next door to Toad Hollow. So I get to hang out with Mary Beth and Helen. Yes, Mary Beth and Helen. I always mix their names up and say Mary, Helen, and Beth. I get to hang out with them for 2 days. Now, hopefully we'll be so busy that we don't get to hang out much, but I'll still get to see them and giggle and chat, and shenanigans usually ensue when I'm with them. The sad part is Allison will not be with me. Allison, Daisy Lane Design. However, she just sent me today in the mail, I just received it, a big old box of brandy new bags to sell at the festival. So you can get your Daisy Lane Design bag then as well. If you're not going to be there and you want to see New Jersey, if you want to see Daisy Lane Design bags after the Wool Walk is over, dang it, Sheep Show is over, I will list them in my Etsy shop and you can take a look. I might even put some pictures of them on the Instagrams. So that's New Jersey Sheep and Wool, September 11th. I will be bringing with me yarns that I think are either exclusive to my shop or kind of specialized in my shop. Specialized? That's probably not the correct word. So I'm bringing Green Mountain Spinnery, O Wool, and Quince & Co. Those three brands are brands that I specifically love because of the way they source their materials, and what they're kind of all about, which is organic yarns, local raised yarns, environmentally responsible dyeing, and superwashing. Superwashing? That is not a word. So O Wool, I carry her O Wash line in the fingering, sport, and worsted weights. I'll have them with me. They are washable wools, but they are not superwash. They are, I don't know what the actual process is called, but it's not the same process as superwash. It is much more environmentally responsible and safer. So I'll have that with me. Quince & Co. is exclusive to Frame and Fiber in New Jersey at this point. There may be another shop soon, I have no idea, but for now, Quince & Co. is here. And again, they are American raised wools. I don't think they have any superwash yarns. I will have all of their wool with me. I might bring their cotton if I can fit it in. There's a lot that I'm bringing. And then there's Green Mountain Spinnery, which spins all the yarns we all love, but then they also spin their own. And so I am bringing with me just two lines. I'm going to bring their Cotton Comfort, which is an organic cotton and American raised wool blend. And I am bringing Weekend Wool, which is their American blend of wool. Again, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that they're all organic as well. O Wool is certified organic. I can't remember if Green Mountain Spinnery is. So yeah, I'm really excited about what I'm bringing, what I'm offering. If you guys have any questions about any of those yarns, hit me up. You can also go check them out in my Etsy store. During the wool, dang it, I keep saying wool walk. During the sheep show, I will close down my Etsy shop, and then afterwards take an inventory, figure things out, and then it'll be up again. So yeah, the sheep show. I'm going to have one kit, which is also my finished object. So let me show you this. I might have more than one kit. I'm not sure. I really need to figure it out because it's in 2 weeks. All right, so my finished object. Let me put these little babies on. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have already seen these. These are the Riverfront Mitts by Amber Swim. Swimmy? Amber Swim. Yes, she's Swimmy Knits on Instagram. So, this camera, I'm still not used to it. Oh, fuzz. Dang it, there's a fuzz. Here, I'll do that. All right. Oh, I'm trying to do what Marsh does with the whole don't cover your face. So people who may have, hearing disabilities can read the lips. Okay. Is that good? That's good, right? Spaz. Okay, so these are them. It's pretty darn cool, isn't it? Yes, it is all purled, but it's just mitts. So it's not that bad. I enjoyed making these. I think because of the reverse stuck in it, it shows off the cables and the little squiggles so wonderfully. So I will have kits at the wool walk. Dang it, sheep show. I also, once the kits are sold, am I saying that correctly? I'm going to be running a knit along for these mitts after the sheep show, once everyone has bought their kits. So if you're interested in knitting along, they are called the Riverfront Mitts by Amber Swim. You can find them on Ravelry. I think that's the only place that she sells them. And I made this with Quince & Co. Chickadee. So it's a sport weight yarn. Isn't Chickadee 50 grams? It is. So it's like, it takes like nothing. And I still had a bunch. Oh, come here. Ouch. I still have probably like, I don't know, 20 grams left over. Doesn't take much yarn. If I had known I was going to have that much left over, I think I would have made them a little longer. Dang it, I just dropped it again. Although they're pretty good. No, maybe not. They're fine. But you could make them longer. Maybe in the kit, I'll put little knit along information. That's what I'll do. That'll be the kit. So join us in making these if you would like. If you have stash sport weight wool, definitely join us. It takes less than 50 grams to make them. What? So that is made with Chickadee, Quince & Co. Chickadee. So after the sheep show, I will be having a Quince & Co. trunk show here at the shop with their shawl patterns. I believe it's 13 samples that I'm receiving from them. So I'll have that set up. That will be September 24th through the 26th. If you are local, there will be more information. I will be having open houses on those days, so you won't have to do appointments. It'll just be pop in when you want. I might have a knit night associated with that, but I also will do a virtual trunk show as well, so that you guys at home, if you are not local or you're not comfortable coming to the store, you can see the patterns and you can buy any of the yarn from me on Etsy. Yeah. So that's that. That was my FO. That's what's going on here at the shop. I have a couple more FOs if you'd like to see them. Okay. again, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen me take a picture of this. I finally finished my weaving that I started last summer. It took me a whole year to finish this, and it took me a whole year because it was a slog and a half because I didn't love it. And I didn't love it because when I warped my loom, I made a huge mistake. And what I wanted, the amount of yarn that I wanted to end up with, no, the amount of fabric I wanted to end up with, I didn't, and I knew I wasn't going to. So because of that, I didn't know what I was going to make with this. I was hoping to end up with 15 feet of fabric. So it's 21 inches, and I was hoping for 15 feet that I was then going to cut into 3 pieces, sew together in a rectangle, and make a blanket. I ended up with 9 feet because of my weaving, my warping snafu. So here's my fabric. Stop talking. That's half of it. There's the other half. So maybe I'll leave it here so you can see it while I chat. Oh, I should have put this in the behind me. Okay, so I used for my warp. Let's see. I still have all of that attached so I can show you my warp. So this is all stash yarn. This is Miss Babs, a sport weight Miss Babs. I don't remember what it's called. This and this are 2 commercial yarns, fancy commercial yarns, but I can't remember who they were. I got them at a yarn shop years ago, and I just never did anything with them. They are all 3 of them wool and nylon blended, so they were okay for my warp. And then for my weft, I didn't do any kind of rhyme or reason to the size of the stripes. Or the layout, the pattern. I just went for it. And so this colorway, this first one is called Tsukiko's Cloak. This was from Toad Hollow from their Night Circus series. Have you read the Night Circus? Oh, so good. Okay. And then this is from Moonstone Dye Works. Oh shoot, I forget. I think it's Moonage Daydream. Or Galaxies. Shoot, I can't remember. And then we've got this one from Lattes and Llamas. I forget the name of that one as well. It's more. And then we've got this right here, which is the one of a kind from Legacy Fiber Arts. I think that's it. Yeah. I like the way the fabric looks. I like the way it feels. It's very loose. Again, it's very loose because I didn't love it, so I didn't weave it the best. So I have 9 feet of this. So it's 4 feet shorter than I wanted. So if I cut this into 3 pieces, it's going to be 3. So it'll be 9, right? Yeah. And it's 21. So it would be 21 times 3 is 20, 42, 64. So it would be 64 by 36. Is that a blanket? Could that be, if I did my math right in my head, do you think I should still cut it and just make a tiny blanket? I don't know what else to do with it. So it's finished as far as the weaving is concerned. It's not finished as far as, it's not a finished object. I have to do something with this. What do you think? If I were better at sewing, it could be a cool skirt, but it would need to be lined because it's so see-through. Can you see me through it? Yeah, you can see my frames behind me. So it could be a cool, I don't know, blanket. That's the only thing I can think of. I know a few people were like, oh, just keep it like a shawl, but 9-foot shawl is not something I'm ever going to use. Could you please give me your thoughts? I should just cut it and make it into a small blanket. Should I make placemats? Could make placements. All right, tell me your thoughts. All right, so that was a finished object. I feel like I've been watching, oh my gosh. We'll get into this more when I get into my whips, but I've been watching floss tubes. And so now I have a finally finished, I think it's finally finished. It's an FFO. Is that finally finished? Like finished? Let me grab them. I've been a stitching maniac, but maybe not necessarily knitting stitching or crochet stitching. I've been floss tubing, so I have been dabbling in cross stitch and embroidery. I believe I showed you in the last episode, which was hello in January. I showed you what I was working on, my mandala. So if you follow me on Instagram, I post pictures of my doodle drawing mandala drawings. Well, I started converting them into embroidery. And so the first one, I showed it to you, but it's finally finished because it's finally in its frame. Stop, right? So now I have the cutest little frame here for Pride Month, right? Come on. Like, that's definitely showing some pride. I originally had it in a plain like black frame, which looked fine because it's monochromatic, blah, blah, blah. But I finished 2 other pieces and they're way too bright and beautiful to, they would just steal the thunder from this one. So I had to put it in this frame. Pardon, I should have some water and I don't. Cute, right? Okay, so you saw that one already. I just wanted you to see the frame. Okay, the next one I finished. Stop. Look at that frame. It's flippin' perfect, isn't it? Okay, so this one, I forget the name of the company. It's the French name. I bought this kit. I'm going to say the first year I met Seashore Sharon. So that was a few years ago at Rhinebeck at the Brooklyn Haberdashery booth. And I forgot I had this and I did that. And I was like, oh, I really like doing this. I think I have some DMC in my crafty stash. Let me go look for it. And I found this. And I forgot that I had this. So I whipped that up, which was so good to do because it's a stitch sampler. So I was able to practice all kinds of stitches. I'm not going to speak. I'm just going to show you the stitches. Aren't they cool? That was super fun to do. It was really fun. Okay. And my last one was back to my drawings that I put into this frame, which, oh, it looks black on the screen. It's totally not. It's probably, here you go. It's like super purple. Look at the splined edge. So this is a frame that was made by my friend Miles. He owns Woodworks Imagery in San Diego, California. He's crazy talented and I love his frames. So this is another one of my drawings, which, let me put this close so you can see. So I'm thinking with embroidery, which I'm enjoying all of this. But I think with this one, I had thought that I wanted to do makeup kits and patterns for people to be able to purchase and make these. But I don't think this one's good because I think I made everything a little too small and tedious on this one. So I think it needs to be more, this one I used 2 strands for the entire, like everything on here was 2 strands. This was anywhere from 1 strand to 3 strands and 1 strand quite often. So it kind of got tedious. It's cool. I love it, but I don't think the average person would really enjoy doing that one like I enjoyed this one. So it's a learning process. I probably won't have anything available for a while because I want to do more to make sure, you know, to make sure. So those are finally finished objects. Aren't they great? I love them. I have to find a spot. So in picture framing, right, that actually isn't really a finally finished object because they're not hanging on the wall. It's when they're on the wall. I think I want to put them in here, and I think I want to put them right there. Let me show you. I think I want to put them, turn this around. Nope, I just took a picture. I want to put them right there instead. I love my yarn pyramid. I should still keep that, but those knitting mats don't have to live there. So I think they would look really cute right there. I guess technically they're not finished. I think it should be triple Fs. Finally flippin' finished. All right, so next let's talk about a work in progress. Okay, so how do I hold this? Like that. There, that's better. So this is called the Mementos shawl by, I should know who this is and I don't. You know what? I'll put it down at the bottom. Shoot! I really wish I could remember who this is. Mosaic Knitting, which I absolutely love. Isn't it a pretty pattern? It's a really cool construction. So this is the other piece. So it is a long trapezoid type of a shawl. And you cast it on like a traditional triangle shawl, you know, with the garter tab. Well, it's not a garter tab, but it's a I-cord tab cast on, right? So you start here and you just start working. And then you cast off half of the shawl and you put the rest of it on. Hold the stitches there. And then you repeat the process with this piece. And then once it is finished, let's see, you connect the two pieces. So it's pretty cool. I like it because they're small pieces. It's never big. It uses 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn. And I think the O wool or the Quince & Co would be so good for this. I am using, my gray color is O wool. It is Appalachian Stone, I believe. Yes, Appalachian Stone is the colorway O wash fingering. That's the color. With a non-superwash color. Shoot, I left the tag at home. This is Moonstone Dye Works on her non-superwash merino base, 100% merino. These two colors together are ridiculous. That would be a good kit, don't you think? That could be a knit along too. But I feel like the mitts are a better knit along. So that's my work in progress. That's my only knitting work in progress. I have a pair of socks in this bag, but I'm not showing them to you. I did want to show you, actually I think I put it in this bag. I did, that's why this bag is here. My endeavors into cross stitch, and again, this is a learning process, so nothing will be happening for quite some time, but I just thought I'd share with you what I'm up to. I've got my needle minder. Ooh, a little needle minder. You can't really see it. This was made for me by Stephanie of Little Lion Stitchery. I love it. Okay, move that over there. So I decided that I wanted to try cross stitch. I know I did it in the past. I don't have any recollection of doing it, but I know I did it because there are framed pieces that have my initials that I did and gave to my mother-in-law. So I know I've done it in the past. I just don't remember doing it. So I decided to try my hand and see if I like it. And I do. I like it a lot. I started with the Modern Folk Embroidery. This is one of his smaller pieces. I don't remember the name. I will put it down here if I remember to look it up. And it's the reason why I'm saying that is because I am not doing the pattern. I liked the border on the pattern, and so I just wanted to try the border, see if I liked it. And so I just did it on a scrap piece of fabric that I think I did one of my first embroidery on. I had this little bit left over. I was like, oh, let me just see if I like doing cross stitch. If I do, cool. If I don't, cool. Didn't waste any time or money or blah, 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 blah. So I'm liking it. I've decided that I'm actually going to finish this border. So I think the border, like the piece is a square. I obviously didn't have a square, so I just kind of fudged it and I'm making it my own shape. And then maybe in there I'll just do like a funny swear word. How random is this? A funny swear word or an inspirational verse from the Bible. Holy moly. Is that called juxtaposition? It's just, I don't even know. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. I actually put this down for a little while because I was like looking at this and I said to myself, that looks like it could be a picture frame. And then I said to myself, you make niddy mats that is fabric that you cut into strips and you wrap around a mat board. So I said, what if you made this, but you made it into an 8x10, and then you cut the opening, you mount it onto a mat board, and then you put a picture in it. Like, that's pretty cool. So I'm not doing that with this piece, obviously, because it's too small. And it's not my pattern. It's Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery. So hello. So I've put this down because now I have my love of graph paper is coming in handy here. I bought the tiniest graph paper I could find, as in the grid, not the paper itself. That's 8.5 by 11. Forget exactly what the size is, but it's super small. And I'm scaling. The one that I'm working on right now is for 28 count fabric, which I didn't have. I don't have a lot of stuff, but I contacted Rachel from Treehouse Fiber Arts, excuse me. And I said, hey, Rach, do you have, I asked her all kinds of questions about cross stitch. She probably is sick of me. But I was like, asking questions about the linens and the fabrics and all of this kind of stuff, just for sizing. And she said 28 to 32 count is probably the most common when it comes to the linens. And I said, oh, okay, do you sell that in your shop? If you need cross stitch or needle punch kits and supplies, check out not Fiber Frame and Fiber. Check out Treehouse Fiber Arts. She has a shop, she has some kits. I'll show you one. So she said she didn't have it in it, but she had a bunch of scraps. So she sent me some linen, like way more than I would have ever have expected from anyone, ever. So I'm going to take my most recent drawing, which is just filling in my graph paper with my patterns, and I'm going to transfer that. I'm going to put it onto a mat. I'm going to show you guys, and maybe, just maybe, that could turn into a cross stitch pattern that you could make for yourself. What? It's good, right? Okay, so I'm loving cross stitch. Son of a gun, I'm loving cross stitch. If you have known me for any amount of time, I always say I'm never going to do something, and then I do something and I love it. That's how I started knitting, because I was never going to knit. All right, let me show you real quick the kit that I got from Rachel, because I don't have any cross stitch kits. I'm just doing my stuff. So Rachel and Sue were just showing this on their most recent floss toss. And I just love it so much. So I think right here is gonna be, you know, P and P for Paige and Paul. And I think I might change the love to Miller. Just, you know, because it's us. And then I don't know, should I put there the year we got married, or should I don't know, I'll figure it out. I'm gonna do a cross stitch kit. What? So Rachel has this in her shop. She has a bunch of kits in her shop. If she doesn't have it, I believe she, you know, will restock. But it comes with the fabric, which is Belfast linen, 32 count. I sound like I know what I'm talking about. And then all of the floss you need. I also bought from her a pattern for punch needle. I have a ton of floss that I bought to do my mandalas with my embroidery, so I'm going to use some of that to do this punch needle kit that Rachel is also doing, or did. So fiber, no, dang it, Treehouse Fiber Arts, go check out Rachel and buy yourself a kit. Well, there you have it. That's what I'm up to. I'm up to a lot of picture framing. I'm getting ready for the New Jersey Sheep and Wool. I stress myself out thinking about all the stuff, but I need to not stress out because it's no big deal. I'm gonna go sell some yarn, hang out with some knitters and crocheters, meet some people, pet some sheeps. Paul Miller's going with me. He's gonna be my booth babe. Well, he's gonna be my my assistant. All right, friends. I will be seeing you sooner rather than later. Happy making, and yeah, catch you next time. Bye.